Hello! In today's video, we're going to be going over a stat breakdown of both ROG's Zone 3 fight and BTR's Zone 3 fight. I decided to pull the data for both of these Zone 3s as I think they're both very interesting, and in future videos we'll be able to discuss why these zones worked out the way that they did. Our pass is going to be opening shortly. As you can see here, our pass will be opening in 9 hours. And apparently there's going to be a maintenance break in 12 minutes. So I'm actually recording this before the spreadsheets are completely ready. But I don't want to have to wait 2 hours for the maintenance to be over. But yeah, in today's video, the spreadsheets that we're going to be looking at are going to go over all the stats for both the alliances. They're going to focus purely on the gains in Zone 3. I guess before we go into the spreadsheet though, let's go ahead and take a look at what our Zone 3s actually look like. Don't mind me over here, by the way. I was just farming mana since B&R and IL. I haven't been fighting very much in the last few days, and I want to keep my hospital empty for Final Zone. So here we have B&R and BRH coming through the pass here, and they're going to be coming up around, and we're going to be fighting near this bridge, because here's ROV and ROG coming up and doing the same. Over here we have IL coming up through the pass. And I believe this over here is Max. Yes, so Max is very far away. They decided not to push two alliances through the same pass, which is an interesting choice. I guess they just didn't want to have the Spire choke, and maybe if IL gets pushed back from one of these, they'll port over to the other alliance. I'm not sure. And then on the other side of the map, here we have IME. Over here we have IMD on this pass, and then over here with these two passes, I believe both of them are EDS. Oh, this one is actually EDS's sub-alliance. So this one's the main alliance, and this one here in the corner is the sub-alliance. So what I'm predicting is going to happen here is that we in ROV and ROG are going to be fighting B&R and BRH. IME and IMD are going to be building around and coming down through this spire to try to help us push B&R and BRH out of the zone. And then IL will be trying to push through this pass to come and support their allies in B&R and BRH. I believe that IL's goal will be to meet up in this area here and fight off against IME and IMD. That way they can help defend this area from them pushing inwards. This fight is going to be very interesting, and I hope you're looking forward to watching footage of it, because I know I'm looking forward to fighting, and I think this is going to be a pretty good fight. I'm not sure what EDS's role in this final zone may be, but their role may actually end up being just chilling over here and making sure that BTR doesn't push out and start destroying territory. This is a very interesting setup here with this KVK, but I'm going to save talking about that for a future video. Anyways, without further ado, I'm going to cut the video here and then record the rest later. Let's go ahead and hop into the spreadsheet. So that maintenance break that I thought we were having was actually delayed until tomorrow, but it's alright. We're here and we're going to make this video on the spreadsheet now. As always, if you are wanting to copy the spreadsheet, go into the top left corner, press File, press Make a Copy, rename your copy to whatever you'd like, and then press Make a Copy. Anyone is able to do this. I've had several people send me emails requesting access, but I'm not going to grant you access that way. I would like you to make a copy this way because I don't want you to have edit access or anything on my master spreadsheet here. So, without further ado, if you could take a look here, this is the primary spreadsheet, the APMT for Alliance Power Merits Totals, I think is what that stands for. I forget what I thought when I named that. If you scroll out here, you can see that I've been taking data for every alliance every single day, except for Soju. I didn't take it for the first 4 days, along with Insidious Legion. We go back down to 100%. On the right side, we have some Kingdom totals here. We've so far, after the Greatest Heights event today at Reset, 30 minutes ago, peaked at 117 billion power and almost 5.8 billion merits, which is pretty damn cool. As part of the end of season stat recap, I'm actually going to go and count the power and merits for every single alliance in the kingdom, even the non-active fighting alliances. And honestly, Insidious Legion shouldn't be included in this spreadsheet, but the way this spreadsheet works is that I added every single alliance into this spreadsheet that had territory in the home kingdom before the KVK started. And I saw that as a sign of activity. And yeah, that sign of activity had to definitely be a real sign because we only had 20 hours in the home kingdom. So anyone that would have territory built already at that point definitely was doing something. So now let's get into the ROG versus B&R plus IL summary. You can see that if you go to the bottom of the screen here and you click this tab. I have divided the data here really quickly and I will explain this to you. So the column D and column K tell you what is in all of these cells. So this is the power and members and the merits and flags before zone 3 opens the day before. And then this is the current power as of 30 minutes ago, the current members, etc. as of 30 minutes ago. And then down underneath kingdom totals, we have the total power for the kingdoms, total merits for the kingdoms, members, flags, etc. So this has all been recorded, and how this works is that you have the formula here, which is just grabbing data from this APMT sheet. So I input the raw data into this sheet every single day, and then I just pull that into all these other sheets that I have in this same spreadsheet. That way I can make a visual representation of the data that doesn't look like this. So now we get into the differences and summary. We have Kingdom 110, which is ROG, versus Kingdom 156 plus 108, which is B&R and IL. The total powers are listed here, ROG and ROV equaling almost 20 billion, and B&R, BRH, IL, and Max equaling 38.3 billion power. We have the merits gained in the zone, 930 million versus 910 million. And then here we have the average power for the players in the kingdoms. And then here at the bottom we have the average merit gains for the players in the kingdoms during the zone 3. As you can see, this data is used or calculated with formulas. So yeah, and this formula here, if we go ahead and click on this, it's the zone 3 ending versus zone 3 starting. And then if we go over here, it's the zone 3 ending plus ending minus starting and starting. So these formulas, I believe, are all correct. You can go ahead and look at them if you'd like. But yeah, this is pretty cool, and definitely I like doing this sort of spreadsheet work. And yeah, I'll continue to do this. I'll do it when the KVK is over. And also here we have this tab for excluding BRH and Max, because a lot of the accounts in these two alliances are sort of farm accounts. So I think it's fair to also give you this data for just IL and B&R. So together they have 25.3 billion power. They have gained 500 million power since the zone opened. I believe they currently have a lot of power in the hospital. Since the zone opened, they have gained 810 million merits, which is 116 million less than us. The average power of a player in B&R and IL is 65.8 million, which is quite high. That is an increase of 1.3 million since the zone opened. And the average merits gained for a player in B&R and IL is 2.1 million, or 614,000 less than us. Well, I had to make a cut there. I'm not sure exactly where I left off, but yeah, I have a lot more thoughts on this matchup and the stats that are presented here, and why the amount of merits gained is so close and some other things like that, but I am going to save that for another video, because in this video I just want to bring you the raw stats on our Zone 3. And I guess also the bit that I had at the start where I talked about what's going to be happening, I think, in Zone 4. Anyway, let's go ahead now and get into BDR versus EDS plus IME/D. As you can see here, this spreadsheet looks a little bit different because EDS doesn't have really a secondary alliance. They kind of do, but they don't actually rotate into it, unlike BTR and Soju. So that's not listed here. But yeah, on this list we have Kingdom 15, which is represented by BTR and Soju. We have these two, which are mixed around. This is supposed to be Kingdom 205, and which is represented by IMD and IME. And this is supposed to be Kingdom 96, which is represented by EDS. If we go in and take a look at the powers here, you can tell that BTR and Soju between Zone 3 opening and Zone 3 closing completely switched shells. BTR and EDS are also now both above 18 billion power, so congratulations, that's a pretty massive stepping stone. In Kingdom 205, Immortal Dynasty is up to 10 billion, and Immortal Empire is almost up to 11 billion. So some pretty big players in this zone. It's definitely not quite like our zone, where there's a few smaller power alliances in BRH and Max. Again, like I said at the start of the spreadsheet portion, if you want to make a copy of this file, go ahead and do so. I don't mind at all, and you can use this in your own content or wherever you'd like. If you do use it in your own content, though, if you wouldn't mind to give me credit, that would be great, but it, of course, isn't necessary. This is the honor system. Also, I am just now noticing that I did not do this right, so let's go ahead and live edit this. This is also supposed to add this cell here. And then the net loss, I actually think is correct. No, it is not. I think what happened is I moved this and it messed it up. So let me go ahead and fix this, and I will be right back. I'm sorry about that. Alright, I believe this is fixed now. If you see anything wrong with this data and you look at the spreadsheet, please let me know in the comments down below, because it's possible this could be wrong. I did have to rush this unintentionally because I thought that there was going to be a maintenance reset, but whatever, we're here now. So the total power of Kingdom 15 roughly is 15.6 billion power. The total combined power of Kingdom 205 and 96 is 39 billion power, so this is definitely a very, very, very heavily mismatched Zone 3. More than 20 billion power, and I, in a way, feel bad for BTR, but we can get into that in a future video, like I said. The merits gained for BTR in Kingdom 15 is 710 million merits, and the combined merits gained for Kingdom 205 and 96 is almost 900 million merits. The average power of a player in Kingdom 15 between BTR and Soju is 87 million power, and this is not correct, so let me edit that real quick. That's definitely not correct. This is supposed to be this cell, but what's P13? P13 is members, so this is meant to be M26. That makes a lot more sense. The average power of players between EDS, IMD, and IME is 69.6 million power. That still seems pretty high, but that's okay. The average merits gained for a member in Kingdom 15 is 3.3 million. And this is actually incorrect as well. I forgot to edit this, but now we know what we need to do. And the average merits gained for a player between Kingdom 205 and 96 combined in the Zone 3 fight is just shy of 1.6 million merits. So on average here, it looks like the average fighter in BTR gained 2 times more than the average member between the other two kingdoms, but that makes sense, especially when you consider how many more members there are between Kingdom 205 and 96 than there is in BTR. In total, between Kingdom 205 and 96, it looks like there is, 641? No, 540. I can't do math. 561 members between the three alliances in the two kingdoms. Sorry for my math. I am very tired. I need to get to sleep. And if you compare that to the total number of members in Kingdom 15 being 213, that is a very, very, very high member count advantage in the other alliance's favor. As I said, I am going to get into this matchup and my thoughts on it and how the game handled this and how we handled it as Diplo in another video. Unfortunately, though, not everything can be even. The developers somehow think that all 6 kingdoms are going to do a free-for-all fight for themselves, and that's just not how this type of game works, because if you did that, basically the kingdom who fought the least before the final zone would end up winning, and that's just not fair. Free-for-all KVK is not a thing, but I have a lot of opinions on that, and I hope that you enjoyed this video. I'm going to go ahead and switch back to Call of Dragons real quick, and I will see you there. So this video is definitely a little bit more of a shorter one. but I wanted to showcase the stats for the Zone 3 overview, as well as give that little opinion that I did at the beginning, and I will be bringing you videos on this in the future as well, so I hope you stay tuned for that, and you enjoy the content that I create. Making videos like this where I put all this data into a spreadsheet and then take that data from the main spreadsheet and put it into another spreadsheet that looks decent takes a lot of time, so if you enjoy the content, please throw a like on it and subscribe to the channel. It really means a lot. Thanks for watching, and I hope you have a great rest of your day.